Today, Bitcoin prices kick off the week in the red. Crypto exchanges announce more layoffs as the FTX fallout continues to rattle the industry. And an angel investor who says he lost $2 million on FTX reacts to SBF's recent public statements. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Kate Rooney. Crypto prices were mixed to kick off this week, giving back a bit of the gains made over the weekend. Still, as of noon Eastern, Bitcoin held above $17,000, while Ether dropped to $1,200. One bright spot in the market this morning was Solana, jumped to $13. Okay, let's talk about some of the top stories. First, crypto broker Genesis and its parent company, Digital Currency Group, or DCG, owe Gemini customers $900 million. That's according to the Financial Times, which cited people familiar with the matter. Over the weekend, the newspaper reported that crypto exchange Gemini is trying to recover funds after the fall of FTX disrupted crypto markets. Genesis is reportedly the main partner in Gemini's program, where retail investors lend out their coins in exchange for a fixed stream of returns. Gemini had halted these withdrawals last month after Genesis said unprecedented market turmoil meant it didn't have enough liquidity to fulfill all of its redemption requests. Citing people familiar with the matter, the Financial Times reported that Gemini now has formed a creditors committee to try to get the money back from Genesis and its parent company. We reached out to Genesis and Gemini today, but did not immediately hear back. Next, crypto exchanges Bybit and SwiftX announced layoffs over the weekend, less than a week after bigger rival Kraken cut its own workforce. Both Bybit and SwiftX blamed the staff reductions on the crypto downturn caused by the FTX collapse. In a series of tweets yesterday, Bybit's CEO called the decision, quote, difficult, and explained the move is part of an ongoing reorganization of the business as the company refocuses efforts for the deepening bear market. Citing a screenshot taken from the company's internal messaging platform and floated on Telegram, CoinDesk reported this new round of layoffs would trim about 30% of Bybit's staff. These latest cuts follow another round back in June. At the same time, Australian crypto exchange SwiftX announced today it's cutting about 90 jobs. In this letter sent to employees, SwiftX said the company, quote, has no direct exposure to FTX, but the exchange is, quote, not immune to the fallout it has caused in the crypto markets. Last week, we told you Kraken, the world's third largest exchange by volume, laid off more than 1,000 employees. That was about 30% of all staff. Kraken co-founder Jesse Powell said the move was in reaction to current market conditions. Last, Sam Bankman-Fried says he plans to testify before the House Financial Services Committee because he feels like it's his, quote, duty. In a tweet yesterday, the former FTX CEO responded to Maxine Waters' request for him to testify at the December 13th hearing on the FTX collapse. He wrote, quote, once I have finished learning and reviewing what happened, I would feel like it was my duty to appear before the committee and explain. He added that he is not sure that will happen by the hearing's scheduled date. The FTX founder did not indicate whether he would be physically present for that eventual meeting. All right, on to our main story. Crypto World's Talia Kaplan spoke with an angel investor who says he has $2 million stuck on FTX and believes he won't ever see that money again. Speaking from India, Evan Singh Luthra responded to SBF's public statements at the New York Times Dealbook Summit and explains what lessons he learned from the fall of the crypto exchange.
Now, you have money on FTX. How much did you put on the exchange, and when did you start using FTX?
I started using FTX over a couple of years ago when I came across a lot of different advertisements and FTX being promoted by a lot of different places and a lot of different sponsorships. I started by depositing a few $100,000 the first time, and over time I deposited about $12 million on the exchange. When it went down, I still had about over a couple $1 million, mostly in FTT and Solana. That was also staked for 14 plus days, so couldn't withdraw it.
So when and how did you learn about what was going on with FTX? Was it over Twitter?
I got messages from a lot of my close friends who are in crypto started saying, get your money out of FTX. At this time, they were still processing withdrawals. And then over time, Twitter, as the story developed, you realize how serious the situation is. I had also a lot of traders that worked for me that also had accounts on FTX that were trading my capital that also did not take action in time. So yeah, I did had a first couple of withdrawals come through, but most of them got stuck and they were never processed. And now we can't log in and can't see anything.
Recently, SBF addressed questions on video for the first time since the collapse of his crypto exchange. He said he, quote, didn't ever try to commit fraud and that he didn't knowingly commingle funds. What is your response to that?
He knew what was going on. This is just him trying to play the victim game and like deny all responsibility. I would tell him just own up and be a man. At least take responsibility of what you've done, right? And that's a better way to do this instead of try to get out of this. That's not the right way. I feel really sad about the people who like have their life savings in FTX, and that's another reason I'm speaking up. The implications are even further. Even people who are using BlockFi, right, are now suffering because of the whole FTX fiasco. So I've even been receiving messages from those people because they're also suffering. So there's a lot of people who suffered who were using these institutions like their bank and had everything they had in these platforms with BlockFi, FTX, etc.
Do you think you'll ever get your money back?
I have already written it down to zero. So, but I'm being optimistic, and I do feel there will be some of it that'll come back at least. So let's see what happens.
Do you plan on taking legal action to try and get your money back?
Yeah, I already have a legal team. We are looking at multiple options, suing him in multiple places where FTX and Alameda have assets in multiple country jurisdictions. They have assets in Australia, they have assets in Japan. So you can sue in all those jurisdictions to get access to those funds.
Where will you put your crypto now? Some say there are more benefits associated with keeping that money in cold storage wallets versus exchanges. Have you now lost trust in exchanges?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, this is the second time. I actually had in the last bear market. I also had an exchange called Big Grail. I lost over $200,000 at that time in that exchange too, and I already had less faith. I mean, with FTX, you got to remember it was the second biggest exchange in the world, right? It was really out there. You would not expect this from that level of an exchange. If another smaller one went down, I would understand it. They were spending what, like having the name on stadiums and stuff, like literally every Formula One sponsorships, massive like sponsorships going out, and like big celebrities and influencers backing them. Now we know that it was all like basically user deposits which fueled this, but it was at that time looked like it's too big to fail.
Interesting, you invested money before and you lost money, as you say. What compels you to continue using crypto if that's the case?
Because the fundamentals of Bitcoin have never been stronger, right? For me, this is the best time to buy more Bitcoin, and I myself am buying more. Any Bitcoin that's in my hard wallet is still mine. Nobody can take it from me. What happened with FTX was it's more like a bank, and we actually gave them money, our own monies in Bitcoin to custody for us. So for me, the fundamentals have never been stronger, and that's why I still have more belief. And it's any technology, right? It takes time for adoption. But what we've seen over long term, if you zoom out, adoption has been growing significantly. There's more wallets being created every single day, more transactions happening every single day, and more partners and more people accepting crypto every single day. So the result of that is long term, it will go up without a doubt. So you cannot discount all the hard work of all the smart people that's being put here. So for me, that's why I'm in a very bullish scenario. Obviously, the market sentiment, and I mean, almost in a recession right now, obviously have an impact, and not just on crypto, but on pretty much all the markets. The tech stock market has fallen so much too. All the tech stocks are down significantly. So it's and the same with everything else. So I think, yeah, just got to give it time. And as we've seen every cycle, it will all come up very soon again.
What lessons did you learn from all of this? What would you say the big takeaway is here?
Not your keys, not your crypto, right? The whole ethos of why we took Bitcoin and we went away from banks was so that we could have control our own money. Uh, every Bitcoin I have in my hard wallet is still mine. Nobody could have taken it from me. Nobody can take it from me. But everything I put on any of these FTX, Binance, KuCoin, etc., is I have a risk of losing it, right? And I'm willingly giving my crypto to somebody else, hopefully trying to make more out of it. But if you just hold it, it grows by itself anyways.
Okay, that's it for Crypto World today. We'll be back again tomorrow with a lot more. We'll see you then.